This is a screencast to support a lesson on giving directions taken from Speak Out Elementary by Francis Eales and Steve Oakes. So first of all, we can see that the topic is about places, specifically Liverpool. So you could do a quick introduction to the topic. I like this warm-up idea here from the teacher's book. So what are the most interesting places to go to in your town or area? And what places are not very interesting? You could just put the questions on the screen and have students discuss together for a few minutes in the main room while you listen. They can then go on to read this little leaflet about Liverpool and answer the questions in 1A. And we're going to move straight on to looking at the map. Okay, because that's going to be the context for our lesson. So they can look at the map over here on the next page and find these features of the map: the road, a corner, a pedestrian street. So you will see here on the map there are letters. So we need to point out to student where the letters are and have them match with the words from the box. Of course, do an example together and make sure you show it clearly on the screen, the answer, so offer the visual feedback. We're then going to move into the language focus portion of the lesson, which is about giving directions. So we can do this activity here, 2A, ask students to match up the directions to the pictures. They can work independently before peer checking, and then we check the answers together. I wouldn't bother doing the listen and check. You can do the feedback with them. Now we need to focus on form. So what we need to make clear to learners is that there's no subject in giving directions. It's an imperative, so we just go straight with the verb, straight with the action. They also need to know that with corner, right and left, it's on, and that is the placement of the building. But if we use turn, then there is no on, okay? And for traffic lights, stop at, and then the difference between past as well, go past the cinema. So look at all those different variations of meanings by asking CCQs. You could use hand gestures or realia, you know, if you've got a little toy car to check meaning there. And then we can look at the form, like I just mentioned, about the imperatives here. And then go on to some pronunciation. Now the pronunciation is over here in activity 5B. I would do the pronunciation here in our language focus portion of the lesson. We're focusing here on sentence stress and intonation as well as tricky sounds. So the sounds themselves, right, left, go, they're not that difficult for learners, but they need to know how to put them into a sentence. So think about features of connected speech, like the contraction here with its and the weak sound in the. It's on the corner, it's on the right, it's on the left. You don't have to use this recording to do the pronunciation. You can do it yourself, as I think that generally is a bit more meaningful for students. They can then go on to do this listening. So they need to find the start here and then listen and do the activities. Make sure that while they're listening, they can see the map. So either have it clear on a slide or ask learners to take a photo of it so they've got it on their phone so that they can look at it while they do the task. The task is impossible without the map available in front of them. Then they fill in the spaces with the questions for how you ask for directions. After peer checking, you can look here at the meaning and the form and the pronunciation for these questions. Students will need that later in the lesson when they do their freer practice. Again, it says here, listen again and underline the stress words. I would just do it with you saying the words and ask them to listen out for the stress in the questions and focus here as well on intonation. The controlled practice here is number the directions to Liverpool 1. So first of all, they number them in which order they think they go, and then they can listen and check, or you can just do feedback pre-prepared on the board. That's up to you. They can then go on to do some more practice here with number 4, which is a freer practice. So they need to look at these different pages. So you can give them this direction. So they'll write the directions from one place to another, ready for their partner to ask them how to get there. It's all related to this map here. So make sure that learners can see this map or have a copy of this map throughout. So you've got one example for the freer practice here, and then another on this page. It's up to you how you want to organise this. So you could either have students in the main room while they prepare their directions and then split them into breakout rooms, or you could put all of the student A's in one breakout room together to work together to write their direction, put all the student B's in another to do their directions, and then mix up the breakout rooms so that you've got an A and a B in each room. That's up to you for how you want to manage it and how many students you get, of course. While students are doing that, make sure you're monitoring discreetly, making notes of what they say, good examples and poor examples, before you come back to the main room and feedback for content and some delayed error correction. If time allows, you can also go on to this speaking activity number 6, which is also some freer practice. So they just give directions to a place on the map and the partner has to listen and work out where they're being directed to. In an hour, you're not going to have a chance to do this 5A as well, so leave that out for today. And that's it. Thank the students for coming and close the class.